In this video, I want to separate the facts from the myths about Mexico's travel warnings and travel advisories. I will show you how to interpret the most important travel warnings and demystify them. The U.S. State Department recently updated their Mexico travel warning for first-time visitors. The primary change is that the warning is now in Spanish and includes a link to the Spanish version. It also added important new information about Mexican security. It says while crime levels remain relatively low by international standards, there have been reports of violent crimes committed against U.S. citizens, and U.S. citizens should take special care when traveling off the tourist path and in areas where U.S. citizens might be at risk. Government travel warnings are not always reliable. Some people choose to ignore these warnings and travel to popular vacation spots anyway. Instead of ignoring these warnings, some people choose to do their own research and learn about the country's current situation before they go. Here is what some tourists think about travel warnings.
I think the travel warnings, it's like any warning, the government has to put a warning out to protect themselves, I think, more than anything. We went to cities in Mexico where there's all kinds of warnings that you shouldn't go there, and we had a great time. We had no problems.
We've been in this area for a long time. We're from Vancouver. There's way more crime in Vancouver than there is.
I'm from the Toronto area. A lot more crime.
Yeah.
I feel very safe here, safer than I do where I live.
I don't believe what the press puts out there, because we know we spend time here and we know how we feel, and it is safe. So when I hear things about Mexico, when we are back home, I don't believe a word they say, because I don't believe the media half the time.
If you are planning a trip to Mexico and want to know what kind of country you will be visiting, the U.S. State Department has valuable information on their website that can help you decide whether or not your trip is worth it. The U.S. State Department releases travel warnings and give travelers information on different safety issues. This includes crime rates in certain areas, as well as information on local law enforcement, medical services, transportation, and more. If your destination seems too dangerous to visit, then it probably means that there are safety concerns that should not be ignored. In order to make an informed decision about whether or not you want to travel to Mexico, it is important to know what you should do in case of problems surface. Travel warnings can make people aware of the risks and dangers and avoid them before they reach the destination. This is important because there are some travelers who don't like to read too much into things, and want to go with what is most convenient or easiest for them. A travel warning allows them to do this without worrying about whether their actions will lead them down a dangerous path or not. Mexico does have its dangers: drugs, crime. But these can be avoided if you know what you're getting into beforehand, or take precautions like not going out alone at night and being careful about your belongings. Mexico's most famous travel warning is for its capital, Mexico City. The warnings are issued by the U.S. State Department in order to warn Americans about crime rates and the high-risk nature of some neighborhoods. Mexico City is a vibrant and energetic metropolis where people go all day long, from one event to another, and enjoy themselves at any hour of the day or night. But it is also a city that has been transformed into one of the safest places in the world, with crime rates that have fallen dramatically over recent years. Mexico travel warnings are constantly changing as new facts come to light about Mexico's safety levels, and crime rates constantly fluctuate depending on what's happening in Mexico at any given moment in time. Myth: Mexico is not safe. Fact: Mexico is safer than its reputation. Tourists are more likely to be robbed while at home than on their trip. Mexico travel warnings have been a hot topic lately. According to the travel advice website, Mexico has the most travel warnings out of any country. The site also warns travelers that they should exercise caution in Mexico due to crime and terrorism. However, Some people may think otherwise. Fact: Mexico has received 60+ travel warnings from countries and government agencies around the world. Myth: not all of these warnings are true, since many are simply rumoring or fear-mongering. The truth about Mexico travel warnings is that they are mostly fake news. There are many different reasons why someone might create a fake travel warning. One reason is to generate fear in order to make people afraid of traveling. These warnings are not authentic and do not reflect the actual situation in the country. In some cases, these fake travel warnings may be used as a form of protest or for political motives. Other times they may be used for financial gain. The US government may want to discourage people to travel to Mexico and keep their vacation dollars in the country. Although most of us are concerned about the safety of traveling to Mexico, it can be a really pleasant and memorable experience. Many experts think that we should not pay attention to the travel warnings published by the US government and should instead decide ourselves. Mexico is an interesting destination, with a lot of things to offer for tourists. However, the country has had its share of challenges and problems in recent years. One of them is the increase in travel warnings issued by the US State Department. The impact of travel warnings on tourism in Mexico has been divisive among both Mexican and US citizens. Opinionated discussions among locals have turned into a heated debate about how to solve this issue for the betterment of both countries. Questions come up frequently why there are no travel warnings for regions and cities in the US. We all know about the incident in Las Vegas at the MGM where a shooter killed 59 people and hurt more than 500. Or Chicago where 769 homicides took place in 2020. There are no travel warnings that say, "Don't visit Las Vegas or Chicago." Here is what the world-renowned author of the international bestseller The Pursuit of Happiness has to say about his hometown Chicago.
Americans should be afraid to go outside their own front door. Okay? All right? I live in Chicago. I'm afraid to go outside. I'm afraid for my children. I pray for my children's safety and the safety of all children every single day. Chicago has become America's killing field, and I'm much more comfortable in Mexico City, or Mazatlan, or any place in the world than I am in the city of Chicago.
According to some experts, these travel warnings are just doing more harm than good for Mexico's tourism industry. The travel warnings are putting unnecessary stress on travelers and causing confusion about whether or not they should continue traveling to Mexico after the warning has been issued. This could result in a loss of tourism revenue for Mexico, who will miss out on potential visitors and their spending power during this difficult time. Mexico is one of the safest countries in the world. However, there are certain rules that you should follow if you are traveling in Mexico. These rules will help keep you safe and make your trip enjoyable, as well as less likely to end prematurely due to an unfortunate incident.